Hey YouTube, I figured I'd make a video today and I'd compare all the 686s that I have now. I seem to be, I don't know if I'm a 686 collector or a 686 hoarder. But we're going to take a look at some of the differences here and there with them while while I have them out here. I made a video the other day showing you the new one that I got, and I figured I'd show you the differences in all of them. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to let you know that all three of these 686s have been safety checked, and as I pick them up, I will show you that there is nothing in them. So what we have here, we have a variety of older vintage Smith and Wesson 686 357 Magnums. Now, this is one of my favorite types of revolvers, the Smith and Wesson 686. Smith and Wesson 686 came out in 1980, and it came out for a couple different reasons. First of all, it came out here. I'm going to pick one of them up and I'll show you. This is not loaded. So the reason it came out to begin with is this is what they call an L frame. An L frame is like a medium-sized revolver, and before this was out, they had what they called the K frame that the police were using, and it didn't have a full underlug on underneath the barrel here, and it wasn't quite as beefy. But the way you can tell looking at them right away is the underlug on here. And they had to seem to have a couple problems here, like when you look here at the forcing cone underneath them, they were a little thin up underneath there, and sometimes it would cause them to crack when you shoot a steady diet of magnum loads through it. So Smith & Wesson decided to come up with a little bit beefier gun, and they came out with this L frame here. This L frame came out so the cops could fire magnums through them all day, every day, not have to worry about hurting the integrity of the gun. And it featured a full underlug, and it looked very similar to its rival, the Colt Python. And that's the other reason it came out. They needed a gun that had a similar size frame that could compete with that premium revolver from Colt, the Python. And this thing was born, and it came out in 1980. So amongst all the years, every time Smith & Wesson makes a change, and their model number, if you look underneath there, they put like a little dash by it. So I don't know if I can get this to focus or not. I'm going to try my best, but this is a 686-1. There it says it right there, 686-1. So this was the first change. So they came out in 1980. In 1986, they made a minor change on the inside, something to do with the little hand. And you can't tell virtually any difference in the 686 no dash one, the first one, and the 686-1. And these right here, this one is a 686 no dash. And if you look at them side by side, they are absolutely identical. There is no difference in them whatsoever. Now, the reason I was going to make this video is going to show you the ones that I have and the differences that I do see in them. Now, the first difference I see in these 686s is all three of them have a different shade color grips. It's absolutely wild that I believe they're all made out of the same type of wood. The graining in them makes them look different, and the coloring is a little bit different in all of them. So I'm going to start with this top one here and show you that it's not loaded. This is the first one that I ever got, the 686. I've had this one a long time, and these grips are in pretty much perfect condition, like with all of them. And I'll show you all the way around. These grips are gorgeous. I think they're a great looking gun. This is a 686 no dash, and this is a 6-inch configuration. The next one down is the one I've had probably about 6 months or so, and these kind of look like tiger stripes or something. But these grips are in perfect condition too, and as you can see, they're a completely different color than the first ones I showed you. The third one here is different than all of them. This is a 686-1. This is the one I just got this past weekend, and they are in pretty much perfect condition, a little bit different colors. So look at them all next to each other. We'll try and show you some difference in colors here. There's the difference in those two, and these are a little bit closer right here, these two, but they're still quite a bit different when you see them in person. Just a little shade and the way the wood grain is on all of them, it's kind of weird. Kind of weird how different they look. So all the Smith & Wesson revolvers I have, They all have like pretty much same grips on them. They all have kind of a different shade to them. Now, when the 686 came out, there was some kind of issue with the firing pin on them. And if you look right in here, this little bushing and the firing pin on them, I believe it was a little too large or something like that, and people were having problems with something about when a primer went off or something, it could lock the gun up with certain types of ammunition. So they did a voluntary recall on these things, and when you got the gun, if you look on the inside here, and there's like a little M stamped on the inside here. I don't know if I can get this to focus or not, but right underneath where it says the serial number, there's an M stamped on it. And that means this thing's been sent back to the factory and had the recall done on it. Now, it was a voluntary move, and there's people that have had these guns for years and fired thousands of rounds through them and never had a problem with them. So they chose not to send theirs back, and that was fine. But then there's other people that sent theirs back and they had them done. And some of them, when they sent back, they checked them out and they didn't even do anything to them except for put the M stamp on them. So I don't know. I think it's whether it's within tolerance or not what they did them. But this one has been sent back. It's my first one I ever got. 686 no dash 6-inch, and this one has a trigger job done on it, so it is smooth as butter. This is probably one of the smoothest revolver triggers of any of them that I own, this particular one. Now the next one here, this is also a 686 no dash, and if you look real close, I think this one will show up a little bit better. You'll see a little M underneath the serial number right above the model number. This one has been sent off, and these are only affected the 686 no dash and the 686-1s, and this one's also had a trigger job on it. Very smooth, very light trigger, smooth all the way through. Just you couldn't ask for a better trigger on them. But this is my 4-inch. This is the first 4-inch 686 I ever owned. I've had this, I don't know, maybe 6 months or so, maybe a little bit longer. I don't know exactly, but this is the one that I aggressively searched down. Always wanted one, ended up with it. Very unique colored grips on it that came on it. Like it a lot. Now this one here, this is the most recent one that I got. I got this over the weekend. 686-1. And if you'll look underneath there, this one's never been sent back. So this one does not have the M on them. Now, there was a guy that was telling me that he's a friend of a friend, and he's supposedly a Smith and Wesson connoisseur, that if you have one that's never had the recall done on him, well, that one's going to have a higher resale value, and that's when I stopped listening. Folks, if you've watched my videos, you know I don't care about resale value. I do not care. I got this gun super cheap, and that's why I bought it. If it was not super cheap, I would have looked at it and said, it's a very nice gun. I have one. I don't need it. I had to buy this one because it was so cheap, and obviously something is worth what somebody is willing to pay for it, and that's what I was willing to pay for something that I already have 2 other ones. So this one doesn't have the stamp on it, and I got this one cheaper than either one of these other 2. So it's crazy. But these people that get into these collecting things and talking about whether it has a stamp on it that's ever been sent back, this one has not. I'm going to go shoot this gun. If it has any problems with it or anything like that, I'm going to send it back and have the thing done. If it doesn't give me any problems at the range, I'm never going to send it back, because I don't like sending things back to manufacturers because they seem to take forever, especially a company that's been in trouble several times financially and with organization problems. I don't like sending them back, and Smith and Wesson is one of those. They're one of the oldest school firearm companies in the country, but they've had their fair share of problems. We've gone over that before, and I don't want to be any part of those problems. I love their stuff, but anybody that can't organize a company like that, I don't really have anything to do with sending stuff back. And I feel the same about a few other companies, but right now we're just talking about Smith and Wesson. But not a collector, folks. I just like really, really cool stuff, and I figured I'd show you some of the minor differences here in all 3 of these 686s. So we have a 686 no dash, 6-inch. It's had action work done on it. We have a 686 no dash 4-inch. It's had action work done on it. And now we have a 686 -1 that's bone stock. Never even fired it. I haven't even fired it. But if you look at these side by side, they are virtually identical. You cannot tell the difference at all in these guns. I can't tell the difference at all. I can't even tell with my poor eyesight. I can't even tell the difference in this firing pin bushing or anything like that. Supposedly you can look at the hammers and tell the difference, the noses on them. I don't see the difference here, folks. There's the one that's supposedly never been sent off. Those that have the N stamped on them, and here's the one that has been sent off. So you tell me what the differences is in them, and you've really done something, because I don't see a difference at all on the two. But anyway, folks, I wanted to show you some Smith and Wessons that I own. I've turned it into a Smith and Wesson 686 hoarder, and see what you thought about them. And if you have any questions on any of these guns, feel free to ask. I'm not a Smith & Wesson 686 expert, but I should be, because I've got quite a few of them that all look the same. Thank you very much for watching my video today, and you folks have a great day.